Disney World can be expensive, so what could you realistically get for a $1,000 trip versus a $25,000 trip? Let's find out. Yeah, this is the trip that you will never forget. So that leaves you $46 for food for two people over 2 days.
Because I would just look at that amount of money and be like, that is too much money. I will wait in the dang line.
You can get basically everything you want to do for the low price of $25,000.
Welcome to the Enchanted Ears podcast,
where we discuss anything and everything Disney.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Joe, and on today's episode, we are planning trips to Disney World.
Yes, we are.
So we are going to look at what you could realistically expect for a trip, starting anywhere from $1,000 up to balling out $25,000 trip. And it's pretty amazing. When you jump up to that,
how your possibilities open up.
Yeah, just how almost exponentially too of things you can do on there. But we're gonna break it down, kind of all these different price points, what you can expect to get. Did it all for a family of 4, just to kind of keep it general. So obviously, depending on the number of people that go, it changes things like that. But it was pretty interesting, honestly, on kind of both ends of the spectrum to kind of see what is really theoretically possible at these different price points.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
All right, so let's get into it here. $1,000 versus $25,000 Walt Disney World trip. So as kind of just a background on this, all of the pricing on this is based on a family of 4 for 2 adults, 2 kids. And I looked at June of next year, so June of 2026. And that's kind of because, one, August is just crazy hot. You really don't want to go in August. Mm-hmm. September's a good deal, but if you have kids, that's kind of back to school. So June was, in terms of weather, was better. And in terms of pricing, it was kind of middle of the road for ticket pricing and things. So I kind of picked that as kind of our mid-tier baseline here.
That makes sense.
And with this, again, looking out a year ahead, this doesn't factor in any deals Disney has. So right now, Disney's currently running a deal where kids can get 50% off tickets through September 20th of this year. So they often drop, discount tickets like this. They're running a bunch of hotel deals. So hopefully some of these deals come back next year. And if they do, that just makes, kind of the pricing a little bit cheaper. But that's kind of not factored in here. And obviously not including airfare or anything. This is just hotel stay, food, what you're going to spend at Disney.
Yeah, and I would imagine that they are going to continue to run these, because I do think that they are going to continue to not have as many offerings, especially with Epic Universe just opening. It's going to be a few years before we get new Disney attractions where the people naturally want to come to the parks and see the new things. So I think that we'll probably see, some of these figures I think would be a little tiny bit lower, because they have to be running deals. They usually always
do. There's always some deal happening every year. It's just a matter of how lucrative the deal is. So, what is the percentage discount on hotels? Do they offer a free dining plan if you stay? Do they offer 50% off kids tickets? That's a pretty good deal. It's just, it's a matter of what is. It's going to be something, just a matter of what that is. So all of that being said, taking the kids' family, starting at $1,000, the kids aren't coming on this one.
Wait, you bait and switched us. You said all of these are figured for a family of 4. And then the first thing you say is, the kids aren't coming. Well,
because the thing is on this one, and I think this is, again, part of this is kind of, hey, the notion is, and I think rightfully so, Disney World is expensive. It gets more and more expensive every year. So even though they have discounts, they raise the prices and then discount it, so it's still more expensive every year. And it is difficult to go to Disney World for an inexpensive amount. So if you're looking at $1,000, I tried to price this up, could not really do it for more than one day if you took the kids. So for $1,000, no kids, this is just 2 adults, you can go for 2 days and 2 nights with a 2-day ticket, no park hopper. That is going to cost you $954. Okay, and that is staying at the campgrounds. So that's not even staying at the hotel. That's staying at the campgrounds at Disney. That's the cheapest option they have, $954. So that leaves you $46 for food for 2 people over 2 days. So probably going to need to do like an Amazon order or like a Walmart order or something.
Just buy RX bars before you go, and that's all you eat for 2 days. It's just RX bars and protein bars and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean that's
so sick.
That's $46 for food, merch, anything else you want to do. So again, this just kind of goes to show if you want to go for $1,000 for more than 1 day, you can stay at the campgrounds and go 2 day not park hopping. So that means you're only going to 2 parks. So you have to pick which 2 parks you're not going to. You're not eating a lot. Yeah, like you said, you're going to have to kind of bring your own food, bring your own snacks. It's very difficult to
you're
make
an
this
adult,
work.
and I feel like a lot of adults that have children, if they're going without children, a lot of adults want to go to Epcot, but the fun of Epcot is spending money on food and drinks. So that kind of rules out Epcot for you.
You basically have $23 a person.
Oh my God.
Over 2 days. So like $12 a day.
If this was us, you just wouldn't eat.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's very difficult to make it work for $1,000.
Okay, so I know this was not part of it, but like how much less when we go down and we have not done this very often, but how much less is a non Walt Disney World property hotel? Like I would wonder if you could swing this at another hotel if there's like some sort of transportation and like
the campgrounds are pretty cheap. Like the campgrounds are like the cheapest, and even like the All Stars. I feel like the All Stars are usually about like what a normal hotel is. You know what I mean? Maybe you're saving, well, let's say you maybe save $50 a night or something. So yeah, maybe that gets you food. Yeah, like that can kind of cover your food.
Yeah, that might be something to look into if this is something that you're like, yes, I have $1,000 that is burning a hole in my pocket and I really want to go to Walt Disney World. Maybe check into that. The only thing is the transportation is still going to cause a problem for you because Walt Disney World includes your transportation to and from the parks. Whereas if you're staying at a non-Walt Disney World property,
make sure they have a shuttle. Make sure they
have a shuttle that gets you there, because otherwise you're spending the money on Uber. So you might as well stay on Walt Disney World property.
So if you do want to take the kids, because let's say you feel bad leaving your kids,
or you're 2 adults and you have 2 other, well, I guess it would be kids prices. I was gonna say 2 other adult friends, but you can, and then you can pretend that they're children and tell them and somehow convince everyone that they're children, like you did that one time.
I didn't convince anybody I was a child. I had a ticket from 1994 when I was a child that didn't expire, and I just used it as an adult. And they're like, this is a kid's ticket. Where's the kid? And I was like, this was 30 years ago, lady. It's me now. So I did not try to convince anybody that I was a child to get child pricing.
I really do feel like there should have been like confetti and like little horns that blew like as you traded in that ticket, and it should be like, free! And like there should have been like a little ticker tape parade.
Couldn't go to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
because that park didn't exist. Couldn't go there. Got 3 parks, but it was worth it. All right. So, but if you do want to take the kids, you can go for 1 day. So a 1 day park hopper is $1,025. If you didn't want to do a park hopper and you just wanted to go to 1 park, I'm assuming you probably want to go to Magic Kingdom. That's $774. If you added on the multi-pass, which I'm assuming is kind of an average cost of $30 a day, that's another $120. That leaves you about $100 for food and merch, which is probably about right for a family of 4 for 1 day. So if you want to go 1 day as a family of 4, your best bet's probably to go Magic Kingdom, get the multi-pass so you can ride a lot, and that's going to be about $1,000.
Wow.
That's crazy. And this is, I think, where like the narrative of Disney World is expensive comes from.
Okay, and we don't have kids, but I would imagine stirring up your life with kids to take them down to
we have to be local.
Florida.
That's the thing. You have to be local.
I mean,
no, I guess, and if you're
because we didn't figure in plane.
Right, exactly. Yeah, this doesn't factor in plane costs. So like you'd have to be
or within driving distance.
Correct. So like you'd have to be within driving distance, because probably if you're local, you have an annual pass. Obviously, like that kind of changes the narrative here. But yeah, this is, hey, maybe you live in Georgia or something, or you're like 3-4 hours away and you're just driving up for the day. But yeah, I mean, it's $1,000 to go to Magic Kingdom. It's
Wow.
pretty crazy.
Yeah,
It's pretty
that
crazy
is
if you
pretty
think about
crazy.
it. Yeah. And if you want to park hop, which park hopping with kids in one day is probably a lot.
Yeah.
Like again, that's what it's $1,000.
But I think that actually is a really good.
So then you have no money for food.
That's a good nugget.
You have no money for
because-
food at $1,000.
Right. I think that's a good nugget though for people who maybe are new. If anybody's like listening, I do think that usually when you see the kids that are park hopping from park to park on the buses, they're usually the ones like littler or that are kind of getting fussy because it's a lot. Like it's an overwhelming of the senses. It's so much. So I feel like if like we had kids, like we'd probably want to delegate like one park a day, and then you might even want to schedule in like a mid-afternoon go back take a nap, or a mid-afternoon go back and just like swim in the pool, something like that, just to kind of withdraw from the parks from a little bit.
I gotta give it to the parents with like real young kids.
Oh
I
my
mean, if
gosh.
they're older and they can walk on their own and everything, that's one thing. But these parents that have like the strollers, and then so every time you get on a bus or a monorail, like
Yeah.
monorails, I guess not bad because you can go on with the stroller. But you get on the bus, you have to fold the stroller up. You have all the like the bags and everything. Like to have to park hop multiple times and get on and off a bus more than just like in the morning and coming back. I have to hand it to him. Like I would not want to do that.
No, I'm gonna one better you right now. All of the parents, I see you. All of the parents with the kids that are getting a little bit fussy or just like want to be held, and it is 99
so hot, yeah.
degrees outside, and you are skin to skin with your child, just holding them, and I'm sitting there dripping sweat, just watching you, and I'm like, and if you try to like even like put your pinky finger on me, I'm like, don't touch me. I am so hot. Like I don't know how you do it. Like I really don't. Kudos to you. Like you have a special magical superpower. You're able to suck it up better than I can. Great job.
Yeah, mad props.
Mad props.
to you, so. All right, so let's move on. We're going to jump up to a $5,000 trip. So this is probably a more,
Like a reasonable.
I don't want to say reasonable. I was going to say realistic. Hey, if you want to go on a Disney trip.
Well, I'm saying like this is what, if you're like, I'm going to have a Disney trip, yes, this is a ridiculous amount of money, but
That's why I'm saying it's not reasonable
right. It's
necessarily.
reasonable
it's realistic.
in that it's a reasonable amount of time. It's not like the one that we just went over. You have to be a very special individual to be able to do that one.
Oh yeah, like this one is like if somebody says, "Hey, I'm taking the family to Disney," I feel like this is like what most people's trip will be, because $5,000 is a lot. I mean, that is a decent vacation, to go on anywhere. So to go to Disney, again, this is, to your point, this is going to get you the average amount of time. If you think, hey, a Disney trip, this is kind of what it is. So for $5,000, again, in June 2026, you can go for 4 nights, 5 days, get a 4-day ticket. Now, I said 4-day ticket, even though you're going for 5 days, because you can save about $300 of getting the 4-day ticket versus the 5-day ticket. So the hotel stay, and this is staying at Pop Century, so we're kind of moved up from the campgrounds, but it's still at a value resort, is $3,680. No park hopper, so you're just doing one park a day. So if you wanted to, again, do a 5-day ticket, that's going to be close to $4,000 is kind of the difference. So again, save a little bit of money because we still need money for food. We still need money probably for like, lightning lanes, that sort of thing. So, I included, when I kind of priced this out, the quick service dining plan. We've talked a lot about the dining plan in that it's not really a money saver per se. It's more kind of like convenience.
Right. And I think that if you're traveling in a family of 4, I think that a lot of times this seems like the thing that is a no-brainer. People like to also do this because you're paying in advance a lot of times for it. So when you go there, you don't have to worry about like ripping out the credit card or anything like that. Like, that you can have it paid off before you go.
Yeah. And the other reason I kind of included it, because again, if you look at the different like kind of restaurant options, so like quick service, you're averaging probably like $15 to $20 a meal. Table service, they typically say budget like $30 to $50 a meal. Snacks are about $10. Character dining is about $75. It works out again, the dining plan is not necessarily a money saver, but it's a pretty good estimation of what food is going to cost you. So it's $1,000 for the dining plan, which gets you 2 quick service meals and a snack per day.
Per person.
Per person, yeah. If you would buy 3 quick service meals for 5 days per person, at again, an average of say $17.50 a meal, it's in between that 15 and 20. It's about $1,050. So again, it's a pretty good approximation. You're going to pay about $1,000 for food here. You're going to be eating at quick service restaurants basically your whole trip here. For lightning lanes, again, don't have necessarily a ton of extra because you're still going to want some like merch, some other things like that. So I think probably Magic Kingdom is the park to get the lightning lanes in just because it has the most attractions. And so that's going to be the park where you're going to get the most bang for your buck and the most opportunity to do the multi-pass. So one day at Magic Kingdom would be $120. That would leave you with about $150 for merch, which again, for a family of 4 over 5 days, 2 kids, that's $75 a kid. That's basically 1 Spirit jersey per kid or a Loungefly. I mean, doesn't go that far in terms of merch, but all of that is going to get you to $5,000. So, I mean, overall, yes, it's a lot. $5,000 is a lot. But it's a decent trip. Again, I think that's kind of like the quintessential Disney trip. You're going for 5 days. You're going to every park. You're staying at Pop Century is a great resort.
Mm-hmm.
You have
access to my favorite ride,
the Skyliner.
The Skyliner.
Yeah, you have access to the Skyliner.
As long as you can convince your kids that it's fun. Just tell them that like this is a fun ride and it's one of your favorite rides. Find a way to make it so it's not scary.
It is fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
The first time we got on it, though, we were like, I was definitely afraid.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared. I'm fun. No, I think, I mean, it has that potential, but yeah, you're up high. You can convince them it's a ride. You swing, like you can make it into a fun thing, and it's the best form of Disney transportation.
It is. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it is nice that like a value resort has that mode of transportation. So, and then again, you kind of get a few smaller pieces of merch per kid or one really nice piece of merch per kid. So it's like, hey, you go down, almost there a week, you have fun at Disney, you get a piece of, a souvenir to remember it by. I think that's kind of, again, that's like, if you're going to Disney, that's kind of like your Disney trip. Yeah. If you say that. So that's $5,000. All right. So doubling that now to $10,000. And so this is kind of where I said at the beginning, like, it is interesting when you make these leaps. One, how much more you can do, but also two, like, I feel like sometimes you think maybe you should be able to do more. Like, it is this weird balance of, okay, you can go for longer, you can stay at nicer hotels, but if you want to do the add-ons or you want to do character meals and stuff, like that stuff does add up quickly. So you would think, okay, I have another $5,000. Like, I should be able to have the greatest trip ever, but like you do have a great trip, but like you can't necessarily do everything. There's still kind of trade-offs and limits here on this. So this is essentially going for 2 more nights, 2 more days. So looked at 6 nights, 7 days, a 7-day park hopper ticket, staying at Port Orleans Riverside.
Oh.
So you're going for a full week now. We're adding park hopper into this. So again, kind of this is where you're leveling up a little bit.
Port Orleans falls in what category of hotel?
That's a moderate.
It's a moderate.
That's a moderate category. And that would be, so all of that would be $5,600. So basically just your tickets and your hotel stay is more than the entire last trip.
Yeah.
Adding in the dining plan, so going for the Disney dining plan, which consists of 1 table service, 1 quick service, and 1 snack per day, is going to be $7,940. So it adds about $2,300 to your package in order to go with the Disney dining plan for 4 people.
Okay, so a quick tangent. Do you think if you just did nothing but ride Living with the Land, that you would learn and absorb the ability to be photosynthetic in Walt Disney World, and you wouldn't have to buy food?
I don't think so. I don't think that's how it works.
Darn. I was gonna say this might be a way, like if you really only you have a little bit more than $5,000 and you want to stay for that longer stay, maybe just only ride Living with the Land and you'll. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and again, the other thing is, if you don't stay at Port Orleans, if you stayed at Pop Century, or you stayed at Art of Animation, you're gonna save,
or All Stars.
Yeah, all Stars. That's what I meant. Art of Animation. I meant All Stars.
Yeah, because Art of Animation and Pop Century are generally around the same price. Although
Art of Animation can be a lot higher.
I was gonna say, I know that there are times where we stay at one or the other because the price of the other one's more.
Right, but if you stay at one of those, you're gonna save thousands of dollars on your hotel stay, which is then gonna give you even more for Lightning Lanes. Yeah, merch, all that sort of stuff, or just a less expensive trip overall. But I'm assuming if you're going down and you're saying, I'm going to spend $10,000 at Disney, you're somebody that doesn't want to stay at All-Star Movies. You want to stay at a little bit nicer of a hotel. So that's why I went with Port Orleans Riverside.
I will say that, so you can tell I'm not the planner here, because if looking at these numbers and the amount of money things like, say, like Lightning Lanes cost, when we go and we do Lightning Lanes, we wouldn't do them, because I would just look at that amount of money and be like, that is too much money. I will wait in a dang line.
Well, that's why we typically don't get Lightning Lanes.
Yeah, I think we typically don't.
A couple times we've done it just to kind of like try it out and see how it works. It is nice.
I mean, we do it for the show. We do it for you guys.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, or so you have to, because you hear our reports about how much, like, what was that one time? Well, what did we do? We did the Magic Kingdom.
The Premier Pass.
And that was like absolute gloriousness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is crazy, like the amount of money these things cost.
Right. So getting into Lightning Lanes, so basically you'll do the multi-pass at each park. That's going to be $376. So it's going to be about $120 for Magic Kingdom, about $80 for Epcot, a little over $100 for Hollywood Studios, and like $70 for Animal Kingdom.
So these prices that you have, these are the prices for all 4 members of your family?
Yes.
Well, it
works out like currently. Again, the prices fluctuate depending on demand, time of year. But like on average, Magic Kingdom is about $30 a person. Epcot's about $20. Hollywood Studios is about $27, and Animal Kingdom is about $17. So yeah, so for 4 people at Magic Kingdom, it's about $120.
Interesting.
So yeah, you're gonna pay like $376 for a multi pass. 1 day at each park. So you're going to the parks for 7 days. I think there's probably some debate on whether you really even need Lightning Lanes, especially if you're park hopping.
And the answer to this is no, you don't.
Yeah, I think you could probably. You probably don't need it at like Animal Kingdom and Epcot. You might want it still at Magic Kingdom, just depending on how crowded it is.
Right. But I will say, like,
and especially if you're going with kids.
And also, I was going to say, it also depends on your family and your family situation, because as 2 adults, we can manipulate our schedules pretty easily. But whenever you have kids, I know that becomes a lot more difficult. But like a way to circumvent doing this, we've said this so many times, and I think it's such good advice. Either go early or stay late. And again, I know those times are harder for kids, but if you have a kid there are people who do have children that like are good at getting up in the morning or can stay up a little bit later. Those times in the day, like during the shows and things, at night or in the morning, like rope drop time, the attractions aren't as crowded. So you might be able to get a lot of riding in there. And then if you want, go back in the middle of the day and everyone takes a nap. And then also you avoid the most hot part of the day. So that's a way to kind of get away with not having to purchase these if you feel like you have to, because you're like, I want to get the most out of my vacation. My kids get impatient. They have a hard time waiting in lines. That is a way to get around doing that if you're able to make that work with your children.
Yeah, and again, I would say Animal Kingdom and Epcot definitely don't need. I mean, Animal Kingdom for sure.
Absolutely,
there's just nothing there to ride. Like that is, I feel like, a complete waste of money.
Yes.
To get the multi-pass there, especially because something like Flight of Passage isn't included in the multi-pass. That's an individual Lightning Lane that you have to pay for. So
Right.
I think Animal Kingdom you can skip. I think Epcot you can skip. So I think, yeah, Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom, I can see that because, again, there are a lot of big tier attractions there that can get very crowded, and you want to make sure, like Hollywood Studios, you probably want to make sure you do Mickey and Minnie's, Rise of the Resistance,
Hollywood
Smuggler's Run,
Studios
that sort of thing.
has low-key recently become, like, it is up there with Magic
That's
Kingdom
why it's the second most
as my
expensive
favorite
behind
park.
Magic Kingdom. I mean,
But
it's $27
It's so
versus
interesting
$30.
because, like, I think that whenever we first started going to Disney, I would always think of it as, like, yeah, like almost like a half-day park, but I love Hollywood Studios. There's so much to do there.
Wait
like,
till they
lots
open
of fun
Monsters, Inc.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean they're turning it around. This Monsters Inc., this animation experience. Well, it's interesting how Disney does this. So, they go through and basically kind of pick a park
And they like
that they
develop
that
the
they
park.
redo. So Hollywood Studios was the park that they developed with Galaxy's Edge and then Mickey and Minnie's. So they're adding Monsters Inc. Now they're doing a little bit more to it, but like that park had a few years where there wasn't much to do there because they closed the backlot tour. So that opened up and was good. And that, they did Hollywood Studios after they did Animal Kingdom with Pandora. So like they focus on Animal Kingdom. That becomes a lot more to do.
And
then
then
they did Epcot.
Frozen was, I think, was
Frozen
in
was
there
Frozen
somewhere.
was kind of in there, but after Hollywood Studios, they had the Epcot transformation, which kind of got cut because of the
Epcot-
pandemic and everything. But now they're circling back on Animal Kingdom now. So like they kind of pick a park. So in 5 years, you're going to talk about how great Animal Kingdom is.
Epcot needs some love. Like, it really super needs love. It is
Well,
the
it just
one,
got it. It just didn't get the love it
it
deserved.
didn't get the love it deserved
Yeah.
because they didn't really do much there. And there's
It all got cut. They announced it all, and they basically cut everything they announced.
right.
to it.
I mean,
Yeah.
they got the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
So there was going to be the Play Pavilion. There was going to be a redo to Spaceship Earth. There was going to be a Mary Poppins attraction. In addition to Guardians of the Galaxy, there was going to be a whole like permanent festival space in the center where they were going to have concerts and stuff. None of that happened. None of it happened.
Yeah, like they just need to develop out the countries, I feel like, because there's a lot of space you can spread people around, and we all know I feel like we've talked about this before, that I think even don't all of the pavilions have space for like 2 rides or something. It's like
Most of them have expansion pads.
like they
yeah,
have
yeah.
expansions that they can do, so even a place that has a ride already might actually have additional space. So it's just like that's a good way to spread people around World Showcase and get people, like, again, get more of the people that are coming to Walt Disney World to go to Epcot as opposed to Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios.
Well, I think something's going to happen with Morocco because now Disney runs the Morocco Pavilion.
You think?
And they've closed that restaurant. It's not been open. They use it for an annual pass holder space.
Is this Joe Stradamus coming back after many years?
I think if you look at it, it is completely
You're right.
underutilized now. They just, again, the restaurant is just a pass holder spot now. The old restaurant Marrakesh, it's just an annual pass holder lounge. Like Disney now owns that and kind of controls that country. It's just complete wasted space at this point. So I think if they are going to bring in a new country or develop something new, Morocco is where it's going to go.
Do you think that Disney would try to get another country to move into that space? Like
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think if
I think
you
it'd
look
be
at
hard
it,
because of the exteriors on the buildings,
Nice.
like to actually change
tear it all down.
I mean,
build it new. If
you
anything
can.
new that wants to come in, I think you're going to completely level it. I'm just saying. I think if you look at it, yes, there's expansion plots for other countries, but it seems like now that Disney has Morocco, I think they're probably planning something for that, and that's why they're not really doing much with it now. In the same way, the Star Wars launch bay was kind of just sitting. I mean, they had something there, but it really wasn't utilized. And now we're getting a whole new space over there at Hollywood Studios. It kind of feels like, and this may be years down the road, but I would feel like Morocco is kind of the area in Epcot.
This is why I feel like Encanto, though, does not belong in Animal Kingdom. I feel like Encanto so clearly fits into Epcot, and it would be really great there. And then, you don't have to focus on like Antonio. Like Antonio is a perfect fit into Animal Kingdom, but he's only one character. But like putting that over in Epcot feels better, and then over in Animal Kingdom doing Zootopia or something that actually clearly fits into the theming. But what do I know?
Yeah, because talking animals really fit into the theming of
They do.
Animal Kingdom.
They do. Yeah, we get translators when we walk in.
I kind of think you can kind of see maybe where they're coming from in that.
I mean, it's leafy, it's green.
No, in that Encanto is magical and talking to animals is somewhat magical, which is somewhat related to mythical animals. Like, I think you can kind of see
but
where.
that's one character still. Luisa's strong.
Yeah,
Isa
but what I'm saying,
can
but I
do
think
like,
I think that's kind of going to be the main theme of the ride. I think it's going to focus on that. I also think with Indiana Jones, I think there's an opportunity that there's a storyline around mythical creatures in that as well. You know, or dinosaurs. Like, you could tie something into that.
If they do something with that, maybe I'll get off of the Indiana Jones hating train. But again,
just have Indian dinosaurs.
But are they creating? Do they say they're creating a unique Indiana Jones ride?
Oh okay. It's new.
So it is not going to be a copy paste of California, because that is my biggest fear. Is they cut something, they rip down dinosaurs, and they're like, you know what? We actually already have this stuff developed over for California. Let's just cut and paste it.
It's a new it's a new story because it's going to be based because it's the like tropical Americas, so it's going to take place in kind of that setting. So yeah, it's a unique story.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, maybe we'll have something like that. All right. So getting back to this planning. So in addition to the multi-pass lightning lanes, budgeting about $200 for individual lightning lanes. Because like what we talked about with Flight of Passage, you also have like Rise of the Resistance. Those aren't included in the multi-pass. You have to pay for those individually. So that probably gets you about like 1 or 2 individual lightning lanes. We did do the dining plan, but again, that's only 1 table service, 1 quick service a day. So you're going to probably have additional meals. So let's assume you get 1 additional quick service a day. That's going to be about $500. And then you're probably going to want to do some character dining. So budgeting in 2 character dining meals is going to be $600, which is kind of crazy. Again, assuming an average of like $75 a person. I know kids are cheaper, but like, alcohol's not included in these, so like roughly it's going to kind of work out to be about that.
My eyebrows just hit my hairline when you said that.
Like David.
Yeah. Ew, David.
So all of that added up, we're currently at $9,600. So that leaves you with about $400 for merch, or if you wanted to do like a tour, you couldn't really do like a Keys to the Kingdom tour because that's well over $400 for 4 people. You could do like the Behind the Seeds tour, which somehow is now $45 a person for a hour tour. I think when we did it, it was like $20 and it was like the greatest tour in the world because it's $20 and it was an hour tour at the Living with the Land. Now it's $45 a person. So that would cost you $180 for a family of 4. Now leave you about $220 for merch. So if you wanted to do a tour, you could do a cheaper one, like the Rhino experience. You could probably do something like that. They're all about the same price.
Except for good luck getting into the Rhino experience.
And leave you less for merch, or, you know, about $400 for merch, which again is going to be a couple Spirit jerseys, maybe a Loungefly, something like that.
Interesting. Yeah, this is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how appealing, again, like the Behind the Seeds tour would maybe be for like children. But again, if it's only an hour, like attention span wise, it's not too bad. We enjoy it.
But how crazy is that it's $45 a person now?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's like these prices go up crazy.
So,
I mean, I think we did it like 3 or 4 years ago and it was like $25. And now it's $45 a person. I don't think it's worth $45 a person. It must have gotten too popular. I think we did it when nobody knew about it.
And we talked about it, and then everybody found out about it.
Because it has to. They wouldn't raise these
from
prices.
all of our millions of listeners.
Yeah, they wouldn't raise the prices, though, if people weren't doing it. You know, like that's the thing. If people don't do it, they kind of just get rid of it.
Right.
They don't make it more expensive. So it must have gotten more popular that they go, oh, we can just double the price and people will keep paying it. It's crazy. Yeah, $45 is crazy.
Wild.
All right, so now we're getting on to our final one, a $25,000 trip to Walt Disney World for a family of 4.
So this is if you were on The Price is Right and they're just going to have you at like just, you know, like this is the Showcase Showdown version of the Walt Disney World trip.
So this is all of us dreaming about that one trip we're going to do. If we hit the lottery, like that meme, like if I hit the lottery, I'm not going to tell anybody, but there will be signs. Well, this is
Yes.
one of those signs is that you're taking your family to Disney. So this is
For a $25,000 trip.
so yeah. So this is really where you're balling out. And at this point, like this is really like top of the line all the way. You can get basically everything you want to do for the low price of $25,000. So this would be a 9-night, 10-day trip with a 10-day park hopper. And we're going to stay at Deluxe Hotel. We're going to stay at Beach Club because you can walk to 2 parks. Beach Club has the Beach and Yacht Club. They have the really good pool that has like the lazy river and the sand and everything in it.
Bottom.
Yeah.
I think it's a saltwater pool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I think it's either the biggest or second biggest because the blue pool at Art of Animation I think might be bigger. I think Beach Club was the biggest, and I think that the Art of Animation pool was slightly bigger, but so it's up there. It's 1 or 2. Like so, this is like one of the best pools on property, and you can only use it if you're staying there. Like this is it. So not only are you going to stay there, you're going to stay in a 1-bedroom villa there. So a more deluxe room at a deluxe resort. So all of that is costing you $12,600. So just a little over half of your trip here is going to be on tickets and hotels. The one thing I found interesting, so this does include park hopper. So when I was pricing these out, apparently if you stay for 10 days, Disney will just basically give you the park hopper for free. So typically adding a park hopper is usually a pretty decent jump in ticket prices. But on a 10-day ticket, the park hopper was only $400 more. So it's only $40 a day more for the ticket. So it's like kind of a no-brainer, at $12,000 to just, hey, we'll spend the extra $400 and get the park hopper. Adding the quick service dining plan, and you're probably like, well, why am I just getting a quick service dining plan if I'm spending $25,000? Did the quick service because then adding in table service and character meals later, but adding the quick service plan takes it to $14,800. I then also factored in you're going to do 5 table service restaurants. So basically every other day you'll do a table service meal and then 3 character meals. So most of the days you're either doing a character meal or a table service meal.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then in terms of lightning lane, so again, this is where you get to be on another level in terms of Disney planning. So you could do a VIP tour one day. That's going to run you about $5,000. And then get the lightning lane multi-pass for all of the other 9 days of your trip. And I just assumed it's going to be $30 a day, the most expensive multi-pass, even though it's not necessarily going to be that. So that would be a little over $1,000, and then $100 a day for the individual lightning lane. So that's another $900. So you're getting a VIP tour. I mean, stop and talk about that for a second, because getting a VIP tour and then you still have another 9 days to go. I mean, a VIP tour is a once in a lifetime experience, and that alone would make a trip, let alone, hey, I'm still going to have another 9 days here and I'm going to do character meals and table service restaurants. You're going to eat at the best restaurants. You're going to see all the characters you want. The VIP tour is the top end of luxury in terms of navigating the parks, never waiting in line, having a vehicle take you to all the parks. This is the trip that you will never forget.
Yeah, it is interesting though. I'm thinking about this, and as a Disney podcaster who loves Disney movies and does all of these Disney things, I don't know if I want to spend 9 days in Walt Disney World though. So I find that anytime we travel anywhere, I have a hard time spending more than probably 5 days there, just because I start to get stir crazy or whatever. So this is the interesting thing here, where it's you price this out this way, but I would probably, if I'm going to spend this amount of time down in Walt Disney World, I want to go over to Universal. I want to spend a couple days over in Universal because I don't want to get bored with being at Disney and I want to, experience some different sights, different sounds, like different, like different food. So like it is an interesting thing if you were going to actually do something like this. It's almost like just because you can, or like if you really had that $25,000 to burn, would you do it this way? And I wouldn't.
That's true. Yeah. And again, I'm assuming you're spending every day at Disney. You could get less tickets. Maybe you do 7 days of tickets, or you don't do all the multi-pass. And then you take that money, and to your point, you do Universal a couple days, or you go to the water parks, or you rent a car and you go somewhere else in Florida and go see some other destination down there.
Well, my other thought here is also this would be a good opportunity, instead of staying in Beach Club the whole time, to do like a split stay. And we just talked about this because we just went to Animal Kingdom Lodge and we did the Savannah rooms. If you are staying for this length of time, and you maybe don't want to be in the parks as much, this would be a good time to stay in those Savannah rooms if you're an animal lover, because you can you could post a chair out if you don't want to sit outside, or you can sit out on the little balcony and just watch the animals in the like the Savannah part. Like that's it. That was a really cool experience. And that was my one complaint about it, is just that because it was a short stay, we weren't in our room a whole lot. But if you're staying for this amount of time, you're probably not going to be in the parks the whole entire time unless you are a real one.
Yeah, you have a lot more flexibility.
Right.
Which, obviously, you should at this kind of price point. So just kind of finishing up with the add-ons, threw in the Keys to the Kingdom tour, which for 4 people would be about $640. So all of that added up. So 10-day park hopper, stay at a 1-bedroom villa at the Beach Club, the quick service dining plan, a VIP tour, 9 days of multi-pass and individual lightning lanes, 3 character meals, 5 table service restaurants, a Keys to the Kingdom tour. That total is coming to $24,120, which leaves you $880 for merchandise.
I could do some real damage with $880 for merchandise.
That's what I'm saying. That is a lot. Going through, I don't know, what else you could do. To your point, that's almost too much. In one trip, 10 days. I feel like even if you took a couple less days and you went to Universal, that's so much. You basically have done everything you could want to do at Disney. You're going to ride everything for sure multiple times. You're going to eat at all the restaurants you want to eat at. You're going to, a Keys to the Kingdom tour. That's a 5-hour tour. That's one of the best tours we've done behind the scenes at the Magic Kingdom. Like you said, you could really do some damage with $800 in merch. You're going to come back and need a vacation from this vacation.
What if if you're eating a restaurant, because you're repeating restaurants probably at this point.
No, there's enough restaurants
there's enough,
you would not.
But
you could easily not repeat restaurants.
You could easily not repeat restaurants, yeah. But we eat at a handful of them. We have been trying some different ones, but what would be your restaurant to repeat if you were doing that? What would be the one that you would go back to and say I want to eat at this place?
Boathouse.
I was gonna say it's gonna be Boathouse.
I'd eat there every single day.
Poor you and me. We have such opposing
I ate there when I was there in May. I ate there twice.
Yeah, you did. That is true. That is true. What would be mine?
I don't know. You like to change things around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't know?
I feel like you don't like to eat at the same place, in the same trip.
Oh, I would eat at one place multiple times. I would actually eat at 2 places.
Canteen.
That would be the second place.
Okay.
But if it was a sit down, I would eat at Sully Canteen. If you would just mobile that, could they DoorDash that to me at any park? Because I would eat that every day for lunch.
Okay.
But because there's so much variety, you can get a noodle dish, you can get rice. I think they do. Do they do salads too? I can't remember. I don't know if that's a base. Yeah. Salad.
Yeah.
But yeah, love Sully Canteen. But
okay,
anyway.
So what's the number 1 place?
Chef Art Smith's Homecoming.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah, that is your place.
I love that place.
Yeah.
The last time we were there, I didn't even get fried chicken. I ordered pot roast, which I very rarely order red meat anyway. But I was like, all right, if Chef Art Smith can do this to chicken, what can he do? You know, like
Yeah.
I was
It's interesting that both of ours are in Disney Springs.
It is very interesting. And I feel bad because now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't want to go to the Boathouse. I want to go to Chef Art Smith. So now it's like I'm taking away your favorite restaurant because I want to go to my favorite restaurant.
We can split. It's not a big deal.
The Boathouse just needs to work on the consistency of those rolls, because if we're going for the rolls, they've got
delicious. No, all the food's good. The Boathouse is great. Our Homecoming is good too. You have to really like chicken though. It's so specific. It's like if you don't really like chicken, you don't really have many options. The Boathouse, at least, if you love seafood, great. If you don't love seafood, there are multiple options for you.
I would love to see Chef Art Smith's with a really good like vegetarian version of what he does, because like it is so good, and the breading is so good that it's like if they had a like a vegetarian version, it would like open up that restaurant to a whole other group of people, because it's like I want to share this with everyone and I want everyone to have access to it. So it's just such I love it.
Yeah, we're getting way off track though. So
we are.
But to your point, I think we were talking about like repeating restaurants. But yeah. I mean, I think there's plenty of enough restaurants
there's so many
that you don't have to eat at the same.
We have to go to
same place
what
twice.
is it, Morimoto? What is there's like a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah, Morimoto. Yeah,
and I feel like I've heard really good things about that.
Down
We've
never
eaten
down
there.
at Disney Springs. So yeah, I mean, basically, you're gonna have your pick of anywhere you want to go. But yeah, I mean, it's like, if somebody wanted to send me on this $25,000 trip, I would gladly go. But it does feel like it is almost too much. Like
Adventures by Disney.
That's
that's all I have to say. If I'm doing $25,000,
I'm talking about Disney World.
I know, but I'm saying if I'm going to spend that amount of money, I'm doing an Adventures by Disney. I'm going to Cape Town, South Africa, because that's one of their more expensive ones.
Okay, but we're talking Disney World here specifically. So,
it's still Disney related.
So we're talking Disney World, here specifically though. But it's like there is this like fine line though of, especially at Disney World, like it being overwhelming and it being too much. Like
It's a lot.
There is kind of that fine line of like, hey, this is fun, to being like, okay, this is, I've been, constantly bombarded with stimuli and people, and there's so much going on for so many days that like, I just need to get away from this all. And I do feel like, to your point, 10 days is kind of a lot. Like you need to build in just pool days in there. And like, even if you get a 10-day ticket to the parks, maybe you're just going at night for dinner and fireworks. Like you can't get up and go and be at the parks all day, every day, riding all these rides. Like it would just be too much. And I feel like you could potentially spend that much on a trip and come back feeling like, I really didn't enjoy myself that much, because you kind of almost overbooked yourself and tried to do everything.
Right. Yeah,
So.
I think that's a good point. And especially in June, when it's probably it's
getting
hot.
warmer. It's getting warmer. Yeah.
That humidity and everything just absolutely knocks you out.
Yeah.
You get tired.
Yeah, but love to hear from our listeners. I mean, obviously everybody wants to go on the $25,000 trip, but like would love to hear from our listeners, like, what trip do you want to go on? Obviously, like there's some like trade-offs you could do of like, hey, I would stay less days and maybe do this instead. Like, what do you kind of prioritize when you're planning your Disney trips? If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know in the comments. If you listen to this, you can let us know on Instagram. We're at Enchanted Ears Podcast over there. But that wraps up the show for this week. I want to thank everybody again for listening. If you've not done so, please leave us a rating or a review. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast. It really helps, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks for lending us your ears.
Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you here next Monday.
Bye-bye.